second chance. Mary was 62 years old and lived alone in a quiet little village. Her days were simple. She drank tea by the window, watched the birds, and listened to the wind in the trees. Although her house was calm and peaceful, she often felt something was missing from her life. Many years ago, Mary had dreams of traveling and building a big family, but life had taken a different path. She had no husband, no children, and most of her old friends had moved away. As the years passed, her heart grew heavy with silence and memories. One cold morning, Mary heard a soft noise outside her door and found a small, wet dog shaking in the rain. He looked tired and afraid, and she could not leave him there alone. Gently, she picked him up, took him inside, and gave him a warm blanket and food. She named him Lucky because finding him made her feel lucky for the first time in years. Lucky followed her everywhere in the house, wagging his tail and bringing new energy to her days. Slowly, the loneliness that once filled the rooms began to disappear. Every morning, Mary and Lucky walked in the park, and other dog owners began to notice them. People smiled, greeted her, and started small conversations about their pets. For the first time in many years, Mary felt connected to others again. One of the people she met often was Tom, a kind and quiet man in his 60s who also walked his dog daily. Tom always smiled when he saw her and often stopped to talk. He had a warm voice, and Mary enjoyed his company more and more each day. As the days passed, Mary and Tom met more often, not only in the park but also at the local cafe. They talked about their lives, their past, and the small things that made them happy. With every meeting, their friendship slowly turned into something deeper. One sunny afternoon, Tom invited Mary to have lunch at his home. Nervous but excited, she accepted the invitation and brought some of her homemade soup. His house was cozy and full of music, plants, and old books, and she immediately felt welcome. They sat at the table for hours, talking and laughing like old friends who had just found each other again. Mary told him stories of her youth, and Tom listened with true interest, often smiling and sharing his own memories. The afternoon passed too quickly. In the following weeks, Mary and Tom spent more time together, walking with their dogs, cooking meals, and even gardening side by side. Their days were no longer quiet and lonely but full of laughter, stories, and the joy of simple moments shared. One evening, as the sky turned orange with the sunset, Tom gently took Mary's hand and said, "I never thought I would feel love again." Mary felt tears in her eyes, but they were not sad tears. They were full of light, hope, and happiness. A few months later, on a calm spring day, Tom looked into her eyes and said, "Mary, would you like to grow old together?" Her heart jumped with joy, and she smiled deeply as she said, "Yes, I would that more than anything." They planned a small wedding in the village garden, surrounded by flowers, friends, and dogs. Mary wore a simple blue dress, and Tom gave her a ring made of silver and love. Their dogs stood proudly beside them, as if they understood the beauty of the moment. The ceremony was simple but full of warmth and joy. Afterward, everyone shared food, laughter, and old songs under the trees. Mary danced with Tom under the stars, feeling like she was 20 again, full of dreams and new beginnings. After the wedding, they moved into a small house with a red door, just outside the village. It wasn't big or fancy, But it was full of books, music, warm lights, and the sound of happy paws on the floor. Every night they shared tea and watched the sun go down. Sometimes, Mary would sit by the window with Lucky in her lap, thinking about how life had changed. She no longer felt lonely, and her heart was full of peace. She was grateful for the second chance life had given her, just when she thought it was too late. Mary, Tom, and their dogs lived many happy years together, filling each day with love, kindness, and laughter. They had found each other at the perfect time. And in the end, they proved that it's never too late to find love and start a new story.